Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Slipstream League Racing on this fine Wednesday evening. We are in Spa-Francorchamps and the Belgian Grand Prix round 3 of season 15 here in Tier 1, and with me is Ocean Chief. How are you doing, Ocean?
Especially for you, you got P3 in quali. So yeah, interested to see what the Tier 1 guys can do today. But I mean, what times were we saying in Tier 2? It was 43s, I believe. Did anyone get a 42?
I think Pole was just into the 42s, if I can remember correctly. But yeah, it is a long lap, so there can be quite a few big margins between drivers. You know, a small mistake can compound into quite a lot of time lost. Just going through the tyre compounds as usual: soft, medium and hard, and into some wet conditions. We saw the track map there, lots of elevation change, no least down Radion and Eau Rouge, which is the corners everyone talked about, especially on the opening laps. You've got to be careful there. Let's take a quick look at the race standings, the championship standings. Touge is in P1 with 37 points, just 2 ahead of Justin, who won the opening race, and Touge winning the second. Makenda in third has hung on quite nicely, considering he's not won yet. Same with Jammy, and Mipo, Naiku and Koppy are pretty close behind, with the rest in single figures. Alpine lead the standings, and Red Bull and Mercedes are in a tight fight for P2 at the moment, and Aston Martin yet to get off the board with a point. They'll be hoping to do that today. And just a quick fact file about the Belgian Grand Prix circuit at Spa. 70% of the lap is done full throttle, most of that on the Kemmel straight, you would imagine, and the longest flat out section, which is the Kemmel straight, is 2,015 meters, and 17.4 seconds you will lose in the pit stop, which actually surprised me when I looked at that, because I thought it was quite a long pit stop, but apparently it's not, because last week was 20. Let's get into the action and into the quali session.
Yeah, we've got Jammy, first guy out on track in that ugly, some find it very ugly, that kick cyber car.
I love it, that's why I picked it.
Yeah, I like it, I like it. Yeah,
I bet Tipsy
some
likes
people,
it, bright green.
yeah, I think it stands out, it definitely stands out. I like it, but yeah, Jammy, very fast driver in Tier 1. He's kind of settling in, it's his first season in SLR, so yeah. Looking forward to see what he can do today. But I mean, last week, let's talk about last week. Jari and Justin. Justin looked like at several points he was going to win that race easy. Jari was giving him a run for his money, but we had some safety cars, some shenanigans, and that put paid to Justin's run. He got P2 in the end, I believe. Maybe, no, actually P3, I think it was. I don't know.
Yeah, and considering I was commentating, I don't remember a single lap of that race, so there you go. Jammy is starting his lap. Let's take a look at how he's doing. And there are a number of changes to this track, as you will notice as we go around the lap. Not in terms of the layout, but more the curbs around the place, the gravel traps in particular. And quite a few of the curbs are sort of arranged sort of like a sausage curb, where if you get 2 wheels over them, they will suck you in. And he has demolished a brake marker board already. That's one of the curbs there on the left. You don't want to go all the way over that, because you will not be able to get off it until the end of the curb. And coming in to left-hander no name, this is a tricky corner. Flat curb, but if you go into that gravel, you're guaranteed to spin or go into the wall on the right. So you've got to be really careful with modulating your throttle input.
Oh, interestingly, Jammy lifted for Puyon just ever so slightly, got a wee confidence lifter, but usually that is flat out, so we may see Jammy just getting up to speed on this lap.
Maybe in some setups then. Or maybe I'm just really slow, but I couldn't take that flat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know you can do it flat, but yeah, usually in TT it's easy. I did do it in quali as well, but you have to get the line right, so
yeah,
maybe a wee confidence lift won't cost him too much. We're going to get the first time on the board here as Jamie makes his way through bus stop chicane, nice and tidy for there. Maybe a little bit squiggly on the exit, but across the line it's a
Oh, there you go.
142.6.
That will be close to pole.
That's pretty fast, I have to say.
Imagine your banker being a 42.6. What an alien. So,
Yep.
most people out on the soft tyres, a few on the medium. As Nike beats that, 42.4, 2/10 quicker as I'm watching Copy, who was just coming around the final corner. Here's a bit of ERS left to deploy with overtake mode, and he goes up to P3 with a 43 flat.
Yeah, Ferrari crossing the line there as well. I don't think... Who was out crossing the line? It mustn't have been a valid lap, or maybe they're doing their out lap. But yeah, looking at... Who's that? Jeremy Duku? Who's that?
Where's... Oh, yeah.
Oh, P2. P2, yeah. I've got it. Is that Noah?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate it when people change their names. It really throws me off.
But it still came
just getting...
up with Noah on the screen. Anyway.
Okay. Shenanigans again. Yeah, just getting the stream chat. Crawley Voice, driving today, did say hello there in chat. Justin as well. Guten Tag from him. I'm surprised actually he made it today because the French Olympic opening ceremony is happening right now. But he's choose SLR over that. And X-Cow is cheering on his man, Christian.
Giannis is doing 5 360s consecutively, which is entertaining. And now he's going into reverse. Don't know why he needed to do that. Some interesting driving going on there from the Aston Martin.
Some intel on Giannis. I saw he made a review of the game recently where he basically said it was crap and he's going to give up league racing.
Okay. So good luck today, Giannis.
Today. But him spinning might further cement that stance he took.
So, yeah, strategy is medium soft or soft medium. You can use the hards, but they are really difficult to get up to temperature and keep them there. And they're pretty slow. You can almost do the whole race on mediums, I found yesterday, if you take care of them. So there's not really any point in using the hards. Interesting that some people are using the mediums in qualifying here as well, because you'd say you wouldn't be able to get 4 lap times in just because of how long the lap is. So interesting to see their strategy when it comes to the rest of quali and the start of the race.
Yeah, and in the Tier 2 race we did, of course, see a number of safety cars. Tier 1 might have slightly less, might not actually have any safety cars, but I'm just looking at the weather as well. I mean, we're only in quali here, but the clouds are already looking pretty bleak out there, look pretty grey. Still a bit of sunshine out there. Track is fully dry, but yeah, the temps might be a bit lower than usual. Spa is interesting though. It does tend to throw up a bit of rain at some point in the session, so we'll keep an eye on that as we head into the race session. But who have we got here? Touge is on a lap here. He won the race last week. He's just started his run down into Rouge, so interesting to see how he does in quali.
Yeah, and overtake mode is extremely thirsty around here, so you've got to take care, especially on your quali hot laps, that you don't drain the battery completely. Although you do gain quite a bit, even in hot lap you still gain battery through the middle sector here, as he goes purple with a 31.1 through the first sector. A quick first part of the lap for the Alpine.
Touge tends to be a master strategist. I think most of his race wins in Tier 1 have come through just him navigating the safety cars and the incidents. I've seen a yellow flag there at a Rouge. Looks like someone's just slowing down, letting other drivers by. But yeah, this is looking like a tidy lap for Touge.
Yeah, look, he took Poo on flat there, I think. So. Purple sector 2 as well, so this should be pole if he can keep the final few corners together. This is a sort of the part in the lap where you can relax a little bit, making sure just to hit the apex is pretty simple, flat out through this, and then you've got to hit your mark, brake as late as possible into the bus stop, hit the apex. I find it useful sometimes to go into second there to just get the extra rotation and the drive out of the corner and keep the revs up high. Just 2/10 off pole, so a good lap for the first try from Touge there.
Yep, very good lap from him. McKender also, he's on the back straight, looking pretty good here in the Mercedes. Both Mercedes guys have yet to put a time on the board, so McKender will be the first driver in that team to do so. Just has to navigate that bus stop chicane and throws the car in with wild abandon. Gets on the exit using all the track, and he's used all his deployment. That is fastest lap, a first 41.7.
Fastest by a mile as well.
Yikes.
Jamie is 2/10 up on his previous banker time. He's going to come across a Ferrari who's on an out lap. They should get out the way in a moment. And just riding that curb a little bit. And you can see he's going down to medium and no ERS during this middle sector at points, because you can see his harvesting light flashing on the back of his car. So that he's got more to use, so he can spam the overtake button down this back straight. We call it a back straight. It's not straight at all. This back bendy.
Bendy straight.
Yeah.
That sounds like a new gender. I just made that. Yeah, Jari in the background there, he went P3 with 42.1. Someone just crossed the line there and jumped up. I think
That's
it was
Jamie.
Yes, Jamie. Sorry, I'm watching Jamie on my screen as well. P4 for him. So I think, yeah, 41s are going to get you towards front end of this grid. Low 42s, you might see those guys start to tumble down a little bit, but I think that's going to be good enough for midfield, or the front end of the midfield anyway.
Nike is the one I'm watching at the moment, also in the Sauber.
Oh, Iceland has joined. Nice. And we've got our gamer as well just joined. So we are getting 18 drivers for this one, which is great. Copy on the back straight. I did see a delta time. It was 2/10 up, which isn't going to be enough to improve his time. So he needs to find a lot of time in bus stop chicane. And look pretty tidy there. See, as he crosses the line, he does improve, but not enough to make up a position. 42.6 for him.
Yeah, Nike is coming around the final corners. Justin eclipses McKenda's time. Nike pits, so he's abandoning that lap. What about Christian? Is he on a run? No, he's on an in lap, I think.
Janice as well, about to finish a lap here. Looks like it's tidy enough. Oh, and he almost loses it coming out of the bus stop chicane. That'll lose him a bunch of time, but 44.1, so at least he gets the time on the board. So yeah, just round up our reserves for today. It'll be Icewind, our gamer, Catastrophe, and Magnetic, and I think that's it for today. Yeah.
AI Gamer's going to get a nice slipstream here from, I think, is that Janice?
Yeah, AR Gamer finished P3. Started pretty much at the back of the grid, I think, or at least outside the top 10, I believe. Got himself P3 in the end. Was a contender for driver of the day, so interested to see how he does in tier 1. Previously has been able to mix it up with the fastest guys in this tier, but I think this season he has not been grinding the game too much, so likes to dip his toes in here and there, but he does seem to get up to pace very quickly. So I expect to see our gamer with a solid time here at the end of this lap.
Yep.
Chat is dead though. I'm looking at chat. No one has said anything since XCow said, "Come on, Christian." So don't be shy. We want race predictions. How many safety cars we're gonna get in this one? Will there be rain? And is Puyon the best named corner in F1? Oh, yeah.
Right. Let's just say how AR has still got 75% battery left as he's coming around the final corner in a hot lap. But knowing me, he'll put it on pole after I've said that. No, he goes 15th. So I'm right and he's wrong.
Yeah, and I don't think he has enough time to get back to the pits and start another lap, so we may see another hot lap here from him straight away. As that last lap wasn't really a fair showing. Jeremy Dooku has joined, so there are some guys struggling with connection errors. I'm seeing our gamer's fuel light flashing as well, so he may not actually get to set another fast lap here. But yeah, Justin P1 for now, 110 finish. P2 is a 41.7, and then we've got Tanari. I missed that, but he is P3, 41.8, and then we're into the 42s with Christian, who didn't do so well last week. Jerry as well, P5. He's on an outlap. Christian as well on an outlap. Only what is that? 5 drivers out on track. So there's a bunch of guys in the pits, all waiting for that last possible moment to go out on track. With Magnetic retiring from the session, so he's happy enough to start at the back of this one.
Yep, they're starting to come out the pit lane now. Catastrophe is the only one on a hot lap, I think, and he's rounding the final chicane. And he's going into the pits. He does not have time to go out again. So that's his session over.
Yeah, our gamer is going to go into the pits, yeah, full ERS, so he will also start at the back end of the grid. Icewind on a hot lap, out lap, and he hasn't set a time, so he jumped into this session rather late. I did message him before the race, asking if he was going to race. He said he was too tired, so he's obviously found his second wind. Worth mentioning, last week, he crossed the line P10, and due to time penalties, got P4.
Yes. I do remember that bit.
It's all coming back to you, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing with this track, obviously, is Slipstream is extremely powerful. In Sector 1, it can give you about 2 or 3 tenths, which is a lot considering how close these drivers are. So they've all gone out together, and the top guys, that is, and no doubt they'll be trying to nab some Slipstream off someone.
I just noticed here, McKender retiring in the pits. He did one run. It was good enough for P2 currently, and has decided to retire the car. So what's that all about? Saving some sauce for the race. Saving 2 sets of sauce for the race. That's an interesting strat. Yeah, and Jerry, looks like Jerry is going to be the first guy across the line here out of these late runners in this qualifying session, trying to get this final run in. Jerry, let's see his Sector 2 time. It is 2 tenths up, so this will lift him up to around about P3. Might be able to contest for P3 if he finds a lot of time in this last sector, which basically is that bendy straight then the bus stop. So it's all down to the bus stop. How much time can you make up there? And he's about to hit that right now. Throws the car in, maybe goes a bit deep. He has to keep it very tight on that second apex. Run to the line, and it's a 42-1, so actually lost a bunch of time, and does not improve.
Yeah, Jammy will be the first out of the front runners now to set a lap, although Christian, there you go, goes pole by just under half a tenth.
Yeah, Jammy up slightly. What is that, a tenth and a half or 0.150? So that would maybe get him one position. But again, bus stops you can. I mean, it depends how you did in your actual timed run that's on the board at the minute. But yeah, you can make up a lot of time there, I've found. And looks like he navigates it quite safely. And he's about to cross the line. Jammy goes P5, so it does make up that one spot, putting Jerry down to P6. And we've got a lot of times coming in right now. I think it was, who was that in the background there? Was that an Alpine? I think it was Touge maybe, or Noah?
Here comes Justin. And he goes pole by 3/10.
Quite a lot. That is quite the statement.
Tunari has
P1
unvalidated.
by 3/10.
Jarry's not on the lap. And Crawley Voice is the only one left on track. So, what can he do? Can he get himself inside the top 10?
Oh, bit messy on the exit there from bus stop.
Oh, nearly. Nearly. 11th. If it was F1 2020, it would be in the perfect position in 11th. Free tyre choice.
That's right, yeah, I remember that. There we go. That is quite a statement from Justin. No, 3/10s clear in Tier 1. And yeah, Christian joining him on the front row of the grid. We had McKender and Tenari and Touge, also Naikau, and Jeremy Duku, also known as Noah. I'm not sure how that's shown on your screen, Joel, but all of those guys all went into 41s. So P1 to P7 packed tightly. But we have a bunch of drivers, Jamie, Jerry, and Copy in the top 10. And as you say, Crawley Voice P11, Matt P12. Did expect him to do a bit better than that, but we might see him do fare better in the race. We've got another comment in the chat. Is there rain in the race? Our gamer asked.
Well, he's the one racing. He should know.
I know. I'm just thinking that. I don't know. He mustn't have checked his screen. But Olaf says go Christian.
It's chucking it down.
Oh yeah.
It's hailstorm.
It's that invisible rain, that blue rain.
The dry type.
The dry rain. Yeah, looking pretty sunny out there today, I have to say. I'd be surprised if there is any rain in this session, but you never know. Spa has its own climate. The conditions can change on a whim. But Justin is confirming no rain, and he is not happy about that.
A man after my own heart. I love a bit of rain.
Actually, it wasn't too bad. The first time I experienced it was at Tier 2 Hungary race. And I have to say, it wasn't too bad. Oh, our gamer saying rain last slot. Justin as well says it says rain, but like lap 25, so after the race. So if we get a safety car, that might well extend the race into the rain. But as it stands, dry race.
Here we go. Let's hope it's not dry in terms of the entertainment. We're underway, and it's Justin who's off pole, but a fantastic start there from McKender. In fact, Justin has dropped down so far. It's Christian who's swooped into the lead. The two Mercedes going toe-to-toe through the first corner. McKender and Tunari don't want to get into a scuffle there. They're being very sensible. Justin in 5th now. Had an awful start. We'll have to look back and see what happened to him. But Touge in P4, Tunari, and here comes Justin trying to re-overtake Touge, who's in the Alpine. What can he do? Coming into Le Com at the end of the Kemmel Straight, there's the Ferrari of Christian, who has been overtaken by McKender as well for the lead. There's so much going on. There's a collision at the back. A few cars involved there. The Red Bull of Copy, the RB of Copy is one of them. And funneling through the tight, twisty second sector are the cars of McKender, Christian, Tunari. But, yeah, I mean, Justin got an awful start there. I'm not sure what happened. He didn't get a particularly good start last week either. So it's a concurrent theme. But here he goes on Tunari, trying to get back into the podium positions. He's cut off there. The door is shut. And he's not going to be able to get past just there. Has another look into this corner. But coming on to the back straight, it's Jeremy Doku who's making a move on Naiku. Both the Saubers are down in 8th and 9th, losing positions off the grid. But the main story is the battle at the front, with Justin losing positions. It's almost 3 wide at the front. It almost is 3 wide. And it's McKender who keeps the lead into the bus stop chicane, with Christian behind and Tunari not far on his tail. And here comes Tunari round the outside of turn 1. Can he get the move done? He swoops round the outside, and Christian's been tagged there. He's done well to keep it on. Front wing flying off the place, and I've been speaking for 2.5 laps.
I'll take over, yeah. So in the background, Copy and Matt were the victims of that first lap. Matt getting some front wing damage. Copy, it looks like also both of those in the pit, so effectively out of the race for now. Matt putting on those hard tires, but might be able to get to the end on those, but not the greatest of start. But yeah, what is happening up at the front of this? These guys are fighting hard. They know that this is an important phase of the race. You want to get the lead. And who is that? Jerry's going down the inside of, who is that? Touche. Touche having to go around the long way. And it looks like Jerry's get up to P4. What a move from him. But Touche is still there. Tries to sneak it up the inside, but Jerry gets a better exit. And Touche down to P5. Wow, what a start.
Yeah, so much action, lots of overtakes, and just quickly, whilst we've got a little bit of time, Makenda, the only one out of the top 7 who is on the medium tyres. It is a soft-medium strategy. He's doing it in reverse, so he'll be looking to make up time with the softer compound of tyres in the later stages of the race. Keep an eye out for the rain, though, which should be coming towards the end of the race if it gets here at all. Justin has a fantastic opportunity here to restore yet another position round the outside. You don't see this very often, but it'll mean he'll have the inside for the bus stop chicane. Is he going to send it? He is. He's already alongside. He's ahead, in fact, as they get to the apex, and a bit of argy-bargy there, and they had contact. I think I saw a piece of front wing go flying. We'll try and work out who's got damage and what's happened there. But Justin, down the inside now for the first corner, is going to have P2 all to himself, although he's outside DRS range of Tunari, so Makenda will have a great opportunity to get back past him on this straight.
Yeah, and Tunari up ahead has broken that DRS range to 1.2 from... Oh, and who's this? Makenda gets past Justin, so yeah, the DRS is obviously activated lap 2, and Makenda made good use of that. Gets that position back from Justin, so yeah, I had a look at the cars as well. Couldn't see any visible damage, but Icewind as well has been making his way through this field. He's got himself up to P12 from effectively last, and he's doing well. He's on those hard tires, so this is working out nicely for him. Lots of clear air up ahead. He's P12, but I imagine he'll be in the points soon enough.
Tunari's got himself into a fantastic position here, 1.2 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He's out of DRS range, and behind him is his teammate on a slower compound of tyres. This is a great chance for Tunari to build a lead and cement his advantage in the top step of the podium at the moment. A bit of action further back as AR Gamer gets past Catastrophes, and I'm just watching this battle here between Yari and Justin, which is coming to fruition as we come down for another lap, yet down to the bus stop chicane. And Makenda is actually closing in a little bit on his teammate. Those two will be in VC together, and they'll no doubt be hatching a plan of how they can finish this race in the positions they are at the moment in a 1-2. Is Jarry going to have the chance to go down the inside? He's just going to wait a moment. What's happening further back?
Yeah, we have a car up. It's Crawley Voice, him and who was it? Let me see. Oh god, I've lost the driver. Catastrophe, yes, that's the one. They were going at it on the back straight, and in the bus stop, Crawley Voice losing out there after a bit of contact. So it's quite aggressive driving out there. I guess it's how you have to drive in Tier 1. Everybody's just busting to get a move on, but yeah. Oh, and we've got another move as well. It's his Cyber guys. Jamie gets past Nightcow, and Jamie on those mediums, so he's wonder if are the sauce falling off.
Oh, sorry, here comes Justin. Up the inside, he's locked up, he's hit the curb. He's done very well to keep the car on the track. Another bit of debris coming off the car. I think that was off Jarry there. So lots of action going on, and they're still side by side into Puon. This is never what you want to have, side by side into the fastest corner on the calendar almost. And look at Justin! What a save!
How did he save that? Oh my god.
And he's now inside Touge. Oh, yes, it still is. It's a battle of the ghosts.
Yeah, they're not. Either one of them's not willing to give up this move here, but Touge looks like he's got past relatively easy there. But Jarry very aggressive, contesting moves into Puon. You don't normally see that. And Jarry up to P3 then. Justin P5, so not going great there. And if he has a lot... Oh
my days. What's going on with Christian? And Jerry.
Jerry slowed down. Yeah, Jerry slowed down there before bus stop. Looked like he was giving Justin the move back.
And he's
I
lost
think
out
that's what happened. Yeah.
to Jammy now, who's closed up so much. Oh, look at this. Oh, my days. Jerry is... Oh, no.
Oh my word. That is very messy.
I mean, I don't know what happened there, but something like that was going to happen sooner or later. And now Jammy is in the battle for the lead, and more than that, he's going to have an easy run on Justin. He's going to get past. Justin is squeezing him onto the grass like Alex Albon back in the day. And Jammy is doing his best to stay toe-to-toe, but an outbraking manoeuvre from Justin has kept his nose just ahead for the moment.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think the softs are starting to fall off here. The mediums seem to be in the crossover phase where they're taking over as the fastest tire to be on it. You can see that with Tenari, he's lost out time to McKender on those mediums. So McKender now within DRS range here. So McKender is in a really good spot. And of course he has advantage of going to softs for his final stint. It seems to be the way to go, although you may get an early pit stop. Sometimes drivers do favour that medium hard strategy, as softs do tend to fall off quite easily here, but currently McKender looking very good in P2. But Jerry, let's talk about Jerry. I mean, what was that all about? It looked like he got the move done on Justin, and then slowed down, and he let two drivers past, then tries to battle drivers into turn one, and we saw the end result of that. So I think Jerry might have damage from that as well. So is Jerry going to pit here on this lap? He does not, and it looks like he's struggling to control the car, so that may indicate there is damage on that Haas.
Yeah. I might see a change of leader here, as the two Mercedes will not miss out on the opportunity to gain a few extra tenths with DRS.
Yeah,
as it will be a well-orchestrated swap.
100%. Those guys are very good friends. Both Finnish, of course. Probably both in VC at this time. And they know what to do. They know how to play this. And
yeah, Justin went on the inside of Touge there, who got a bit of a snap of oversteer.
He got onto the curb there on the exit. I don't know if you caught that, but that definitely bottoms out the car, and you can lose a lot of time there. Justin died at P5 because of that mistake, running wide. Tell you what, a lot of excitement in the first 6 laps of this race, Joel.
Yeah, and all this squabbling is allowing the Mercedes to get away, but Touge has closed up somewhat since he made that move a couple of corners ago. And the gap is back down to 9 tenths, so it's not going to be easy for Mercedes drivers to ward off the rest of the chasing pack. Icewind, as you said, he's up to P8 now, and he is on the hard tyres, so has an advantage where he can go long. He might even be able to make it to the rain, if there is any, as Jammy is now overtaking Touge around the outside. A simple move into the bus stop.
Yeah, and Crowley Boyce in the Ferrari has had another moment there. We've got Stavlo on the exit there. So he's dropped a few more positions. But yeah, Iceland doing very well out there on those hards. Was watching him. Looks like he's struggling a bit with understeer. That's to be expected on those hard tires. But yeah, he's just playing it nicely here. While there's chaos all around, he emerges in P8. So definitely an early driver of the day contender.
Will we see any overtakes here on the Kemmel Straight once again as Justin makes the move and then weaves in front of Touge? I'm not sure whether it was saying thank you for something or what was going on there, but he's up to P4 now, and
yeah,
you would say it's
as well made a move. Sorry,
pretty close to wanting to come for a pit stop for the soft runners.
Yeah, I watched Shari on the end of the Kemmel Straight navigate those series of corners, and I tell you what, he does not look like he has full control of that car. It's dancing all over this show, and I think it's a combination of possible front wing damage and the soft tire starting to overheat, fall off, and lose all that grip that you get in the first initial laps when the car just feels planted. And Mercedes working well here as well. You can see the gaps. And Jamie just tantalizingly close to that DRS range. And I think the Mercedes guys, if they can keep Jamie at bay for now, they can work together, get that DRS going, and yeah, Tenari can extend this soft run as Jamie makes it. Yeah, he's got that DRS range already, so it looks like he's going to have DRS on the Mercedes guys ahead, heading into Rouge. Gerda, 3-second time penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie well within DRS range now. And Tenari and Jamie both very low on DRS, or sorry, ERS. McKender has plenty.
No moves just yet. I just wonder if Justin will consider an undercut from this position onto the mediums, maybe this lap, and see, because the gaps are pretty small, although as I say that McKender has now just exited the DRS range of his teammate. But you know, even a one lap undercut, Justin, or Tunari for that matter, could emerge in P1.
Yeah, I guess one thing to consider is like if you can go a few laps more on these softs, you can go to mediums. So we may see Justin try to extend. Oh, and Justin catching the curb there in the fast chicane and almost losing the car. So yeah, number of drivers out there today struggling a little bit in this phase of the race. But yeah, I'm watching Justin's. Going to see if he does indeed pit here or if anybody pulls the gun first. McKender is just stretching his lead. He can no longer keep Tenari in tow. So he's decided just to get on with things, and he will not be pitting as he's on these medium tires. Tenari also not pitting. And yeah, no one is pitting, it seems like. Justin staying out. Oh, and we have our first guy in the pits. Naikai in the pits, yeah. So that puts Iceland up to P7. And very close to Christian.
Oh, look at Jamie, who's so close coming up her route. Just as will be a certain change of position as they come up the top of the hill. He had to go down to 7th gear then just to get a bit of extra revs into the engine and the extra drive as he is safely up. And this is
move.
Justin on Tunari as well.
Ooh.
So 2 positions lost for Tunari on the one straight. And Icewind makes up a position on Christian, which proves the point that the softs are going off now because the hards are starting to become faster, let alone the mediums.
Yeah, Christian had an atrocious turn 1. He went very wide and lost a lot of time there. So yeah, you can visually see now that the softs are just done. So I'm thinking most of these soft guys are going to have to pit this lap, and whether they go to mediums or hards remains to be seen. But Icewind up to P6, and he has his options open. He can go to mediums or potentially softs, but I reckon that mediums are a safe bet, but he can stay out for a couple more laps. Yeah, terrible understeer on Icewind's car, but he's managing just to control it for now. Everybody seems to be struggling in these conditions, but we're heading to this first opportunity to pit, and we've got McKender staying out on those mediums. Jamie on these mediums in the pits. Is he going to put on a set of hards then? As Justin as well stays out on those softs. That's an interesting choice. Jamie, Touge pitting. Icewind staying out. Icewind's going to be up to P4 then.
I'm surprised by Tunari staying out as well.
Yeah, I guess the thinking is Justin stays out and he's going to get DRS off Justin. So, but yeah, it may cost him a lot of time. Both these guys on these softs might cost him a lot this extra lap, because the softs definitely look like they're done right now. Pooped, as they say. Yeah, look at the amount of time that Justin is dropping back to McKender alone. It's 3 seconds currently, and that gap is only going to increase as Christian gets a time penalty as he continues to struggle. You can see the gap to him to Icewind on those old hards, 1.1, so Christian, no doubt, going to pit this lap, as are Justin and Tenari, I would say.
Yeah, I think they've got no choice. Yeah, Makenda in a commanding position. He will be, you would think, on the softs towards the end of the race to regain any positions he might lost through the undercut.
Another penalty pops up there for Jerry. Yep. Interestingly, Jamie is looking pretty good here. He's on his hards. He's already made his way past our gamer. He's in P6, and he's not too far away from the lead car here. So he could potentially be the leader of this race once all these pit stops play out. As Justin Tenari both in the pits. Icewind's going to move up to P2. Wow.
Imagine a safety car for him now.
Christian also in the pit, so yeah, all those front guys on those softs deciding to come off them, and they will be glad to get a fresh pair of tires on
Here
the car.
comes Jamie round the first corner. Is he going to be ahead of Justin and Tsunari? Comfortably. But they haven't lost out to Touge, although he is on tyres that have already heated up, and he might have a chance on this lap. But they haven't actually lost too much, Justin and Tsunari. They haven't lost at all, actually. They're in the exact positions they were when they pit, net-wise.
Yeah, and like I was saying, you know, they were trying to extend those soft tires to get onto the mediums, but Jamie decided to go one lap earlier, but had to go onto the hards. He wasn't confident of getting those mediums to the end.
Well, he was on
Actually,
medium.
Jamie was on mediums, yeah, that's right.
So he had no choice.
Jeremy Duku gets a time penalty, so another one on the board, and P8, P9, P10 all with time penalties, P13 also, and Gurla and Catastrophe at the back end of the grid. So the race starting to settle down a little bit here. What are we thinking about Makender though? When is he going to pit? Is he going to go hards or softs? I think he's just told us by going into the pits, meaning he's going to go into the hard tire. And that means Iceland is going to lead this race unless he pits.
I don't know. He might be going onto the soft. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, he is? I am very surprised.
Because Tsunari and Justin just did 11 laps on the soft, and he'll have a lesser fuel load, of course, so it will be doable.
Yeah, and of course we know that Makender only did one lap in quali, so he had fresh tires, so that will extend those soft tires a little bit. Oh, Icewind! Oh, I just caught that. Going for a Rouge, gets a time penalty.
And in fact, Makender re-emerges in the lead, so all he has to do is just manage his tyre wear. And
yeah,
he'll win the race.
Build a gap. Yeah, he needs to build a gap, because at the end of this phase of you know, the soft stints, they are going to fall off, and I imagine these medium and hard runners are going to be able to claw him back. So this is going to become a race of attrition, I think.
Jamie might start to come under pressure here from Justin, who's on the mediums, as he is closing up quite significantly.
Icewind leading this race right now. I have to say I'm enjoying this, but I reckon he will pit either this lap or the next lap. Most likely for mediums. He doesn't like the soft tires too much in this game, and he will come out, I imagine, around about P11 on a fresh set of tires.
We're going to see a move from Justin here potentially. It's a bit too far back. Out.
Yeah, I think Justin's just right. Just to hang back now for now, because really you want to do the overtake on the long straight after a Rouge. Oh, and a lot of fast lap pouring in there. Gurla with a penalty as well. But yeah, you don't want to pass someone before the start-finish straight and then get re-overtaken on the DRS straight after a Rouge. So Justin using his brain and lining Jamie up for what looks like it's going to be a very easy pass here.
Yeah. He's using overtake, which I don't think he needs to, as Tunari is going to get past Jammy as well. So Tunari is involved in the overtaking part of someone being overtaken twice on the chemistry. It's not him this time, it's Jammy. If that made any sense at all.
That's crucial for Tunari, just to stay on the back of Justin, because Justin's very fast, capable of winning this race, and if Tunari can stay close by, he also will be a contender for the win of this race. McKender is building that gap, but not as much as I thought. It's currently 1.3, 1.2, so he really needs to get the hammer down. And Icewind is not pitted yet, so is he actually going to defy common logic and go onto those soft tires? Yeah, like I say, he tends to not like the soft tires as they do drop off so quickly, but might be willing to try something different today.
Yeah, and Justin is caught up to McKender by around a second as the clouds do roll in. We'll keep an eye out because there is rain scheduled. Just whether it will come in time before the checkered flag and affect the race or not. But Justin, fastest lap, which McKender has not been able to achieve since he pitted off the softs. And he's within DRS range now of McKender. So, looks like McKender is managing those soft tyres and not pushing them too hard in the early laps of the stint. Justin and McKender and Tunari all only have around 10% ERS.
Yeah, that is interesting. You would imagine McKender would just fly away on those softs. But yeah, like you say, he might be just trying to take care of them, but it's cost him a lot because now he's got Justin on his rear axle within DRS range, which is not ideal. Iceland might come into play here a little bit as he's getting caught by McKender and Justin and Co very quickly. They may actually catch up to him by bus stop, and it may hold up a couple of drivers as they try to navigate him. I think Iceland though may well pit this lap for those soft tires. He's leaving it rather late, I'd say.
Safety car, maybe. Holding out for something. But yes, this train all the way down to Jamie, who's in P6 on the hards, which is hindsight, but you'd say probably wasn't the right decision, but we'll see at the end of the race. See, he's lost a few positions down to 6th place now. And Icewind does pit, so that releases the top 2 and makes McKender vulnerable to the DRS of Justin.
Yeah, I have to say the odds have swung in favour of Justin right now as McKender's tyres will slowly eke away pace-wise, and Icewind is putting on mediums, so despite running long on the hard tyres, goes on the mediums for the final, 7-8 laps of this race, comes out P9, has a time penalty of his own, but there are a bunch of guys around him now that have a time penalty also, so he has got work to do in P9. But yeah, Justin right on the back of McKender right now. Justin also has full ERS, 100%.
Yeah, it looks like he's just using this lap to gain his batteries so he can pull away even when he overtakes. But I'm convinced McKender can't be going at full pace because on these softs he would have made a substantial gap by now, you would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is strange. Justin Carr just looks faster than McKender's, like,
I mean, there you go.
Everywhere.
Look at that. Round the outside, and he's
That
just
is
swooped into
crazy.
the lead with no sweat whatsoever.
Yeah, that is very strange. You expect McKender would do a lot more fighting, but is this some mind games for McKender so he can stay behind Justin and get that DRS down in Tour Rouge? And this has brought Tunari back into the mix. Tunari right on the back of his Mercedes teammates. So I guess this is swinging in the favor of the Mercedes guys. They'll be able to work together a little bit here. But Justin doing very well at this phase of the race.
This might be an absolute masterstroke because both the Mercedes could overtake Justin here on this Kemmel straight, and then Justin will be stuck behind Tunari, who might hold up Justin to allow Makenda to get away. That's a wild plan. Let's see if it comes. They're not both going to overtake Justin. In fact, I'm
Justin's
not sure.
not using ERS at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure Makenda really wants to overtake him, but he's forced to.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's like you say, Joel, maybe McKender is like heavily conserving these soft tires, because he does have quite a way to go on them yet, whereas Justin can comfortably get to the end here, and yeah, this has turned out to be quite the tense battle up between the top three guys, and let's see, I'm looking down the order to see if there's any other close battles on track. We've got Catastrophe quite close to Matt. Looks like he might send it into, yeah, into the next corner. Yep, gets the move done. Up to P13 for him. And Jerry, Fitz, Christian, and Nikoi all within a DRS train of their own. Touge and Jamie got their own wee battle going on. But it's all eyes on these top three. Is Justin right on the back of McKender and Tenari right on the back of Justin.
Yeah, the advantage for the Mercedes that they are working together, of course. There's two cars in this battle versus the single Red Bull of Justin. It's intriguing what the strategies are for these three cars and how they're going to win the race.
Yeah, so the Christian supporters in chat, your man is up to P7. He does have a time penalty, but potentially could get P6 here, as he's looking very close under the back of Nikoi. And Justin, yeah, Justin is going for the move, it looks like, on the inside, and will reassume the command of this race for now. Yeah, Christian gets past Nikoi quite easily, and P6 for him, so we'll look to extend his lead a little bit. He needs 3-second cushion to Nikoi to keep that position once they cross the start-finish line. And I have to say, Touge as well is starting to get back into this contention for the win of the race. I think all the kind of the moves up ahead are kind of favouring him a lot, and he's able to get himself within 1.1, tantalisingly close to DRS range of this league group, and he did win the last race. We cannot count this guy out. Jamie as well on these old hards. So the longer this race goes, the more it's going to favour him pace-wise.
Yeah, and assuming Makenda is conserving his tyres, when is the point that he puts the pedal to the metal and starts to try and overtake Justin and build a gap? Because he doesn't want to be in first position with Justin within DRS range with 1 lap remaining, because he'll just be overtaken.
Icewind did get a move on the back straight there, so he's up to P7. He's now got Christian ahead, and Icewind liking these fresh mediums. He's got a 4-lap advantage over Christian in terms of the mediums, and we should see a move from him on the Camel straight up to P6 for Icewind, it looks like for now. Jamie up to P4.
Oh, sorry.
Touge.
Yeah, we're going almost 3 wide here as Makenda does get past Justin, and now it's Tunari who's trying to force his way past as well. He won't give up here, Tunari. He's hunting the Red Bull driver down. He had a good chance into Lecom, but Justin defended well. Makenda is back up into first position. Will this be the time where he starts to go full pace and really...
car off. It's Nikoi and P9. Looks like him and Jerry Fitz had an issue there. So he has dropped a few positions. And Icewind indeed up to P7. And look at this, Jamie is in DRS range of the lead pack, which brings in Touge as well. So this is this race win is up for grabs. P1 to P5, all in contention. Makender looking like, yeah, he's... Oh, Justin might go down. No, Justin lifting. So he is not making the mistake of making the move. It looks like Makender's almost willing Justin to go by here and taking his time, approaching bus stop chicane. But yeah, McKenna keeping the lead for now. Justin able to get that DRS from behind, but he has to be careful. He can't be held up too much by McKender, as Tenari could easily get a move on with an opportunist move.
Yeah, and this has suddenly become a 5-car battle for the lead, as Jammy and Tug not far behind at all.
Oh, it's getting tense, Joel. Oh, it's getting tense. Justin, go for the move. And he does get that move done, relatively easily done. McKenna filters in P2, Tenari P3. They have to be careful here, though. As slightest mistake's going to cost each of them, as Tenari tantalizingly close under the back of McKender. Jammy, yeah, he's looming in the background with Touge as well. I just want to read up a comment from Tipsy Bob. He says, looking good for Justin. Mac can't really pit, so he's here to the death. So Tuna is a threat, as Mac's tires should drop off from Justin and Tuna. So let's see how this plays out. Indeed, this is getting very, very exciting.
And there are only 3 laps left as well. McKender is dropping back slightly, but still well within DRS range. But is Justin deploying now and trying to get a gap? It doesn't look like it. McKenna is the one deploying in hot lap mode. Does Tunari want to overtake his teammate, or is he staying behind and working together? Well, if he thinks Justin's getting away, he's going to try and have to get himself into that P2 position.
Yeah, and Bob and Chad as well pointing out, yeah, you never want to be on the last lap of Spa, or sorry, you don't want to be the guy ahead for the last lap of Spa, because generally speaking, if there's a guy within DRS range, he will get to move on the last lap and take that win away from you in the dying moments of the race, Gurla, with another time penalty. And it continues to be very tense up front here.
McKenna trying to overtake, but he's completely out of ERS. Tunari is the one most likely to make a move, but he will stay behind for now. Jammy doesn't seem to have the pace to make any moves unless there are mistakes ahead and they start fighting. He's just there to pick up the scraps, it seems, at the moment. Maybe in the next lap he will start to become quicker as the softs and the mediums start to wear away, perhaps.
Yeah, and I'm looking at I'm looking at a yellow flag. It's through Rouge. Jeremy Duku is out. Are we going to get a safety car for that? I don't think so. We do have the yellow flag, so there is a threat of a safety car, though that car has been cleared, so no safety car for now. Matt in the pits gets a 10-second time penalty, so he retires from the race. But yeah, I think the Mercedes boys need to be careful here, because
yeah, Chinari have to swap. I think
they have to swap because he's getting held up here by McKender, and that'll just work out for Justin, as Justin already has that 4/10 gap up ahead. And I think we are going to see a swap here on the straight from Tenari and McKender.
The problem is he's not close enough. Tunari's not close enough to ensure that McKender doesn't lose the position to Jammy. He would have liked to have done it before the Kemmel straight, so that Tunari can gain on Justin.
Yep, Tenari going to go for the move around the outside of McKender. McKender kind of giving him a little bit of a squeeze there. I don't know if he knew that was coming, but Tenari up to P2, and I think that was the correct decision from Team Mercedes. And Tenari is in the best spot here to win this race. He hasn't won a race this season, but he's shown the potential to do so. And,
well, Tunari's in the perfect position. We're coming onto the final lap when they cross the line. All he has to do is overtake in the Kemmel straight and not make a mistake in the rest of the lap. Justin will be interesting to see how he plays this, if he just lifts off down the back straight. He does not want to be in the lead on the last lap.
Yeah, they all know the score. They definitely know the score. So Oh, Copy is retired from the session. I think we've got another guy. Giannis in the pits may well retire in the session. I saw some shenanigans there from Magnetic and our gamer at the back end of the grid. But yeah, all eyes up front here on Tenari. Oh, and again, Justin is willing Tenari to go past here.
Oh, look
Slows
at
down
what's
a little
happening
bit
behind.
already.
It's Tugay who's taking advantage of all this shenanigans going on. And
Whoa.
Jammy nearly rushes him off the track. Let's keep an eye on this lead battle, though, because Tunari is one lap away from his first win. We say this like it's certainty, but he has actually had a poor exit, and he's over 5/10 behind. He's using overtake to try and boost his way back into contention. He should still be close enough, you would think, as they're both boosting, and I don't think he is. Tunari has got a poor exit from turn 1. That might cost him.
That's going to cost him big time. Yeah, so it's all going to come down to that back straight, I imagine. But the fact that he is very little ERS, I mean, you can harvest a lot in the mid part of this track, but I know also Tenari's fuel light is blinking rather rapidly. It's got that red flashing symbol, so that's not a good sign for him either.
Yeah, he doesn't want to run out of fuel and like coming out of the last corner.
Oh, and Justin going very wide through Puyo on there, doesn't extend the track, but yeah, Tenari looks like he has a run. Ooh.
He has to go for it on this final straight. It's his only chance. And Makenda has just got to do his best to hold off Jammy as well. As there are yellow flags down here. Let's hope they don't stay yellows, because you can't overtake under yellows. Tunari, go, 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 he says. He's boosting. Justin is not.
Slipstream, yep. Slipstream might be key here. He's going to go around the outside. Oh, Justin just taking the right line, making his car as wide as possible. It's all going to come down to the final corner.
Yeah, he's going to have the inside for the last corner. He has to make the most out of this. He's brake really late. I can't see what's going on. Please, it's going to be a photo finish. Who's ahead? It's Tunari as Justin crashes into the wall. Oh my days, what? Why did Justin do that for?
That is interesting.
What's
did
that?
He cross the? I think he crossed the line. Justin has a habit of actually alt F4ing when he crosses the line, and it tends to do this.
Yeah, if it's after. If it's before, there's no saving that. In my opinion.
Oh my god, look at that! Icewind P3. So we're thinking, did Justin get P2 there?
Don't know. Depends if he crashed before the line or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that back in stream, Joel, to see what happened there, because that could be crucial.
Anyway, we know Tunari has won, and it was an exciting win at that. And it's his first win of the season, and he'll be hoping for many more.
Yeah, Justin crossed the line in P2. And something happened to McKenner. McKenner was P3, but right at the line, Jammy jumped him and got P3, which means Icewind got P4.
Crazy.
Crazy race. That was high octane, pedal to the metal the whole way. What a race. Love those types of races. Flew in. No idea what happened now. You couldn't. Full blur. But there you go. I think we'll get out of the way. Icewind, driver of the day, has to be.
Yeah.
Solid race from him, even with that time penalty. P4. Nice. But the man of the moment, Tenari, top step, played it perfectly. And I have to say, biggest loser there was McKender, and I'm very surprised that he went for those soft tires. He paid the price there as 10 lap old softs at the very final lap, and it cost him potentially the win of this race.
Yeah, they didn't. It was a bit weird, wasn't it? They didn't really come alive, those tyres.
Yeah, it's like I say, he was trying to conserve him, it seemed like, but I mean, by the time he got to the end of the race, they were pretty much done already. So it never was able to really effectively use him. I was thinking that he would go for an early gap, and try to build a gap and then try to protect that in the final part of the race. But for some reason, Justin was able to hang on to the back of him, and that was key to his race, I think. So a solid result in the end for Justin, but Tenari is the man of the moment, and we definitely want to get speaking to him in the interview section. So if you're listening, Tenari, get yourself in there, lad. Wouldn't mind speaking to Justin. Of course, Iceland, I want to speak to the driver of the day. Touge as well, lost out big time there. There was some shenanigans said, and then on the penultimate lap, through that final chicane, but he picked up a free second time penalty, and that effectively cost him any chance of a podium. Christian, in the end, comes across the line at P7, I believe. And yeah, then we had Jerry, P8, Nyko, P9, and Crawley Voice, P10.
They're both in now.
Oh, okay. Shall we bring in the man of the moment, the tuna man?
Mm.
Hey, Tenari. P1, my man. What a race from you, man. That was crazy. Tell us about your race, but also I want to hear about Mercedes team orders. What was going on there between you two?
I mean, I don't think. You mean the first stint or what? Or like
Actually,
all
the fact, yeah, the whole thing. But like, I was very surprised that McKenna went for those soft tires. And then at one point, were you were in VC together? I imagine. Was there any discussion about when, because obviously he was struggling in the final phase of the race. And was there a discussion about you getting past, or was that just unwritten or
I
unsaid?
mean, that when I passed him, I think it was lap 21 or something. It wasn't like coordinated, but I just got past. I don't think he thought it. Of course, it's actually good to see, but because he had the weather style, so I think the logic was that. I mean, I have better odds of winning, I guess, than him
Yeah.
because of the tires. But I mean, there wasn't much about teamwork. I mean, on the first stint when I was P1 and he was P2, still on the maybe a little bit worse tires, then I don't think he like purposefully slowed down a lot, but he fought Justin in place, so I could break the others in some spots, but in the end it didn't matter a lot because they just got back in and yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel? I mean, you've won before in Tier 1, but how does that particular win feel for you, man?
I mean, I'm quite happy about this one. I mean, it of course like it didn't require a lot of pace because it was just the whole race basically was just DRS train all the time, and you just kind of have to, you know, manage the battle and all that kind of stuff. But I'm still happy about it. Like I wasn't expecting going into the last lap that I could win, especially after the camera started because I couldn't even get close. So, but yeah, he
Yeah.
ran out of battery, I guess, and yeah, got the
Yeah,
podium.
and it looked like there was some mind games going on out there, because I saw like a couple of drivers when they were approaching bus stop, they were maybe willing the other driver to overtake them so they could get that DRS run,
Yeah, of course.
on Camel Straight. But you didn't, you seemed like you were wise to it. You weren't playing those games today.
I mean, I don't know. I just did what. I mean, I was like trying to play too much, of course, but people usually what they do is they just turn the ERS to none going into the bus stop. So, although not their basic, not their anyways, but in some spots where they just go very slow. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of just how racing is on this game. So nothing too crazy about mind games, I'd say.
Okay, and quali as well. McKender opting for that one lap
Yeah.
was good enough for P2, so he did have those fresh thoughts for the race. What about yourself? How was your quali?
Um, I had to only do two quali laps because well, I want to save at least one of those softs, and yeah, on the first lap it was actually decent because McKenna gave me toe and I gained like 2-3 tenths, so the lap was okay. I still tried to improve on the last one because I knew that I could, but I messed it up, of course. So nothing. And yeah, McKenna was, I think, decently happy with the one lap he got, so he didn't do more. Yeah.
Good stuff, Nari. And yeah, I mean, the last thing to ask really is we've got Canada next week. How do you feel about that track?
I'm usually quite bad at it, but this game is quite different, so I could be good. I could be even worse. Let's see. I haven't done any laps on it in like a few months, so we'll see.
Okay, well, solid performance today and your first win of the season. I know in previous seasons you have won in Tier 1, but it tends to be one and done. So are you looking to build on that this season?
I'd hope, but I bet it doesn't happen. So let's see.
Cool. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing you on track again. Congrats on the win. That was huge. Very tense battles there up front, but good job.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Good night.
All right. Let's bring
Sweet
in.
dreams.
uh, oh, sorry about that. We're bringing in our driver of the day. It's Icewind. Icewind, I DM'd you before the race. You said, "No, I'm not doing this when I'm too tired." Saw you pop up in quali. Obviously, came in a bit late in quali, so didn't get up to speed. You started pretty much at the back end of the grid, and somehow, some way, got yourself up to P4. So
Yeah, it's to be honest, it's P6. I think those 20-second penalties are some bullshit because there was like an Aston Martin stopped at the final corner on the final lap, and I think those guys got like illegal overtakes or something.
oh, okay,
So
yeah,
those are P6 is the reality, I think. So
yeah.
Justin did his usual Alt F4 because he didn't win. So that's what happens. But
You should just not reinstate the position anymore. You just say, right, well, you left, so
yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice if he didn't do that because then you always have to like it's a little irritating to
extra
input the
work.
result. I'm not doing it right now, but I just remember it was always the thing. Like you have to look down the field and oh, okay, there is somebody who is like 17th and he's actually supposed to be 5th or whatever. I don't know where he finished, but something like that. So
Yeah, I have to say, Icewind, obviously you went for a hard stint at the first phase of the race. I was watching some of your onboards. It looked like you were suffering a lot of understeer in certain corners. But how were you finding the car and the setup?
well, like the quali run was pretty shocking as you saw, but yeah, I just basically hopped in at the last minute and made up a setup once again on the spot. I think it was mostly based on the TT setup with a couple of minor changes. It didn't feel great in quali, but it's also I was completely out of touch. In race, I just figured I'll focus on getting a good start because I tended to get pretty good starts in this game. Kind of the same thing happened like last week. I got a really good start. I was up a couple of positions. Then there was some kind of contact ahead of me. I think Copy and somebody ahead of me after turn 1. I had to lift, and then I think in hot lap mode I immediately like floored the throttle, and the rear just snapped, and I went to the gravel, and I was like last after turn 1. But then there was I don't know, cars flying all over the place. I don't really know how there was not a safety car on the first couple of laps because I don't know. I drove past like 5 cars which were spun out or
Yeah.
directly on the racing line as a ghost and stuff like that. But yeah, you're like partially right about the understeer. I don't think it felt like that bad. It was just like the Stavelo before the back straight, the right hander.
Yeah, I was going to mention that in particular. That's the one I was thinking of. Every time I saw you at Stavolo, it looked like, the
Yeah.
car just wasn't turning at all.
Yeah, it was. It was like not completely terrible. I was trying to take like a late apex to get a good exit to the back straight. But if I was struggling there, then like a bunch of other people were struggling there too because I always managed to drop them on the back straight somehow. And then otherwise I felt actually pretty good on the hards, and I think my pace was actually sort of comparable with those. So yeah, the first stint was I just decided to drive long. There was nothing to lose at that point for me. Then I pitted, came out in P, I don't know, 9 or something like that. There was Christian Yari, Christian, and Nico ahead of me, a few seconds, 3 seconds ahead of me, or something like that. Nico maybe 5 seconds ahead of me. I put the mediums on, and it was like a completely different car. There was just so much grip that it felt really weird to drive for a few laps. And I caught up to them really quickly. and just kind of one by one overtook them. And every time I got to the back straight, they just dropped out of my DRS range again. So somehow I seem to have a pretty good on the spot made up setup for this race, and P6 I guess was pretty much the maximum for me today. So obviously pretty happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
solid
my
result.
race, my fastest lap in the race, it was not the fastest lap of the race, but like my fastest lap in the race was 2 or 3 tenths of my quali time. So I think that kind of says that I only really warmed up during the race. So
Yeah. Well, the main thing is you had fun. It looked like you did have a
yeah,
bit of fun out there today.
This track is so much better now after they remodeled it. So the updated model and all of that is just so much better. I think you would agree with me when you also. I think you were also 6th or something, right? So
Yeah, actually, yeah.
we're both 6th this week.
Yeah, I appreciate you helping me with that. But yeah, I mean, you definitely enjoyed Spa. But like one track I really hate, and it's the next track in the calendar. So I'll ask you on your thoughts on it. But Canada is next. What do you reckon? Have you done any laps on it yet? And
I think only in the very first patch in the game, but this is like a completely different game now after that. So I have not done any laps on Canada since all the handling updates. But generally, I've always liked Canada. It's like one of those tracks where you can really send it into the chicanes, and it feels good to drive to me. And I think you can usually, at least in the previous game, you could use a really high downforce setup, which usually suits me quite well. I'm sure the usual problems will still be there, like quali pace is not great, but if I can be somewhere maybe in the top 10 at the start, I might be able to avoid all the trouble ahead of me and not fall last after turn 1, like that's happened twice now in the last 2 races. But yeah, we'll see. I've always liked Canada myself, so it's like a what I would call like a rhythm track where you just gotta have to send it into most of the corners, and that usually suits my driving style pretty well.
yeah, well, we appreciate you joining us on track today. Definitely helps
fun.
to fill out the grid a bit, and we always like to see a bit of Icewind action on track, and there's plenty of it today. Driver of the day as well, man. I have to say, I was riding on board with you for your Rouge when you got that last warning, and
Yeah, I
so that
wasn't my last
penalty came
warning.
up.
I got one after that, so it's but yeah, I was slapping my head for that one. I really sort of a lazy warning, right? So yeah.
Dude, I got a warning on the run down to Rouge on the first lap. I don't know why, but I just drifted off track onto the grass, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's kind of easy also if you drop your concentration for a tiny bit, with which I think I did there. So yeah, it's I think it's a little bit easier to actually pick up a warning there than it used to be, because they tightened it up a little bit like it is in real life, I think so.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, just my mistake, of course. And I don't think it would have, even if I got or didn't get that 3-second penalty, it wouldn't have changed anything, because I was like, I'm not really sure exactly, but like 6 seconds away from the guys ahead of me. So
Yeah, I saw you built up
like
that
that.
gap. Yeah, I was surprised though that you didn't go to the soft tires, but I guess
Yeah.
thinking about it, that tends to be you stay away from the softs most of the time, and I guess that was the right call because you saw McKender then struggled in the final phase of the race. But overall, P6 driver of the day, you can't complain too much about that.
Yeah,
So
I
good
don't want
showing.
to rip this too long, but just to touch on that soft tire topic, I actually was going to go on the softs, but I kind of made that call to not go on them, because I saw how much people were struggling in the first stint with those
Yeah.
softs, and it just seemed like the mediums were the kind of the best race tire. The hards didn't wear at all. Like I don't know. I had like 15% wear in 8 laps or something. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's just there was no wear at all on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for coming into commentator's booth for the interview. We appreciate that.
Thank
And
you.
we'll speak to you soon. With one more guy to go. Brother Joel, hang in there. Almost over.
Hello.
Catastrophe. Hello, sir.
Hello, and happy to be here, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
not the best race of mine, but
Yeah. Tell us about
I
your
w-
race.
I would say that in a way I enjoyed it because it showed me kind of where I am, and I believe I'm higher than when than where I finished, because I did a massive mistake in qualifying, and I kind of underestimated how bad the pit crew is in sending you in and out, like the time you need to go in and out of the garage. So I pretty much ruined my lap there. I didn't finish the qualifying, like my flying lap.
Oh dear.
Ah, perfect. Yes, I mean, I was like, okay, let's pick up the pieces, head down. Good start. I started on the medium tire, which in a way I kind of regret it now because it was the strongest tire. And I went into the first DRS zone, the first straight, three wide. And for some reason, the driver on the left decided maybe we're too wide, so I'm just gonna turn in. And I picked up front wing damage out of that, and
Oh no.
that ruined my medium stint, which could have been the strongest. I was like, okay, what can you do? Like, I actually fought it with a yellow wing. It was not that bad since we aren't using many like high wings here. So
Hmm.
I didn't thought it would affect my driving handling, but when I changed the wing and went to the hards, I was like, yeah, that's another car. What's this car they given me? Like I had to relearn how to drive in that car. It was that like the change was that drastic. Okay, I mean the hards were had them for like 15 laps, I believe, somewhere around there. They did not degrade. I mean, they were sliding at times, like especially in the second sector, but they did not degrade. So just okay, just bring it home to this point. But yeah, many mistakes from everyone, me included, and that's something I have to improve on, especially like on the second sector. On the slow corners, the understeer was insane with these cars. But yeah, what can you do, I guess? A lot of fighting, a lot of side by side action. I can enjoy that, but I feel that in the back markers, we're not that trained to go. I'm still learning. I'm still getting used to the drivers here. I mean, it's the second race, so
Yeah, I think it's like you say, the quality is key, because it obviously if you can put yourself ahead of the back markers, then you don't have to do all the squabbling and all that, that loses your time throughout the race, which may ends up costing you at the end of the race. But you're tantalizingly close to getting your first points in Tier 1, so looking good. I mean, you finished P11 today, but we've got Canada next week. So how are you feeling about that race?
uh, you know, I don't want to ruin it or like jinx it, but Canada has been one of my past best tracks. Like this is that was the track that I got my first league racing win. So I would like to to keep it that way and not jinx it that much. I enjoy the track. I kind of have raced on it in this game. Different than the previous game, but the fundamentals are the same. I mean, how much can they change between games?
Yeah, true. Well, you never know. Might be your first
I hope
points
the
then.
DRS is weaker than this race because in this race in Belgium, DRS is a joke. Like you cannot get away from anyone, and it's just pretty much a guarantee overtake. Like it was, yeah. I think you saw that in this race. Like the DRS was the major thing.
Yeah, even the slipstream as well. It seemed quite, if you had that combination of DRS and slipstream, it was just a game changer. It made the overtaking very easy on the that camel straight after Rouge. But yeah, interested to see how you do in Canada, and hopefully you get your first points in, and the first of many. But good to hear you had some fun out there today, and we'll hopefully speak to you again soon. Hopefully you get your first points, and we can celebrate that in the next interview.
I don't know. I'm always aiming for more than points. To be fair, I wouldn't say that's very realistic, but that's the goal. So
Yeah, well, skill, pace, but there's also luck, and if you get the right strategy calls as well, you can definitely put yourself in some solid positions. But yeah, we appreciate you taking the time to join us in the commentator booth, and we'll no doubt speak to you again soon.
it's awesome. Glad to be here. Anyway, have a great
Okay.
day, guys.
Yes, have a good night. Bye bye. Cool. It is time to wrap up the stream. All interviews done. Great race overall. Canada next week. Um, Hopefully you'll join me for that one as well. If this week was anything to go by, I'm guessing next week's going to be just the same. Some really good racing. Some yeah, I don't know. Like I have to ask you as well, Joe. Like, what are your thoughts on Canada? Is it a track you like? Because I definitely do not like that track.
I like it. I don't love
Oh
it.
god.
It's quite nice to drive. I think when you get in a rhythm, it's
Yeah,
quite high
it's just
speed.
I think it might be the cockpit camera because all those fast chicanes and those blind apexes are just horrific for me. But yeah, you never know. This game might be a bit different. Um, so yeah, we've got that next week. But Joel, yeah, it's been a pleasure again calling Tier 1 race, and I'm looking forward to next week already.
Nice. So yeah, see you next week, everyone, and have a good week. And join us again on Wednesday for Tier 2 and Friday again for Tier